up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to transition your nonprofit to cloud-based accounting. Now, if you watch my channel, we talk all about cloud-based accounting, different cloud-based accounting tools, right, outside of accounting software. And so if you have not yet transitioned to cloud-based accounting and you're interested in learning how to do so, then you'll want to keep watching. So first things first, you want to approach this as a project. Like anything else, you need to have a plan, right? And so first you want to think about when are you looking to move, right, to transition, because if you're mid-year, mid-fiscal year, that might not be the greatest time, right? You might want to wait till the end of the year, or if you're mid-audit, right? Not really a good time. And so first you want to determine when are you trying to make the move. Then you want to make sure that you have milestones that dictate different success points, right? And then you want to have success measures. So how do we know that the migration was even successful? How do we know that the move was even successful? Starting with the plan gives you the roadmap for where you want to go, what road you want to take, and how do you know whether or not it was successful. And so I don't recommend just jumping into it. I first recommend starting with a project plan, rather. The next step is doing an assessment of your current process and your current system, right? So whatever accounting system you're using right now. Now, I think looking for the software, demoing software is like the fun part, but before you get there, you need to do an assessment because you need to know what it is that you're even looking for, because shiny object syndrome is a real thing. There are so many different tools and options out there that if you don't know what you're looking for, you get caught up in all of the features and things, and you'll select something that doesn't really work for your organization, or it works for some future state of your organization, but not right now. Before you go doing your research, let's take it one step back and do an assessment. What is the current state of your books, of your process? What's working? What's not? What do you hate about your current system? What is it missing? What are you looking forward to, right? Because that gives you the data for what you need to be looking for when you do get to the research step. And so don't skip over doing the assessment. It is a key part in determining what system you actually end up choosing. After you've done the assessment, now you can move to the research phase. So when you get to the research phase, essentially what you're looking for are accounting softwares that match up to the list that you created based off of your assessment. Now, some of the common accounting software tools that are used are, of course, QuickBooks Online, you have Appelos, you have FundEasy, you have Financial Edge, Sage, right? And so some of these are really big and robust. Some might be too basic for what you have going on. That's why the assessment is going to be important. But when you get to the point where you are researching, you want to be thinking about the features that these softwares have. You want to be thinking about user friendliness, security, pricing, right? Like, is it within your budget? And you want to be thinking about scalability, because while it does need to serve you right now, if you have plans to grow and things like that, you need to determine, does it suit those future plans so that you're not 1 or 2 years later having to do this big data migration again. Now that we've gotten past the point of researching, you know what you're gonna go with, you wanna start thinking about the data migration process. Now, there's a few different ways we can do this, right? Some hire an independent consultant, some use, one of the consultants that the accounting software that they have on staff. You might have a tech person in your organization that can do it, but you need to determine, right, like who's going to actually do the data migration. But also what's key here is ensuring data accuracy and integrity, and how much data are you moving? Are you moving all of the organization's financial data, like, last 10 years? Or are you just moving the last 5, the last 12 months? Because once you know that, you need to make sure that that data is clean, that it is organized in the way that you want it to be, so that you don't muddy up the new system once you migrate the data over. Get clarity on that, right? Now, once you get the data migrated, right, you got to perform a check, because you want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. And so typically how we do this is whatever we did move over. So if it was the last 12 months, we're running the financials, we're comparing it to what's in the old system, and we're making sure that things match up and that there are no differences. We're making sure that nothing is standing out, red flagish, negative, don't belong, things of that nature, right? When you're in the new system, it's a clean slate, right? So you want to make sure that you have set this up how it best suits your organization. You're making sure the chart of accounts is clean, right? You're making sure whatever features you're using to, track things like tags or classes or projects, all of these things are set up appropriately so that once you get to the point where you're training, right, it's already set up, because training is then going to be that next step. Because moving to the software, that's the big piece, but it doesn't stop there. Next is training and support, making sure the people that are going to be using the software, that they understand how to use it, that they understand the tools, right? That they understand the different features and they understand the current setup you're going to be using. So, oh, this is the chart of accounts. These are the numbers. Here are the classes. We're going to use classes to track XYZ. Here is projects. We're going to use projects to track XYZ. Oh, here's tags because we have fiscal sponsors, that we're going to be needing to track, and we're going to use tags for that. So just making sure that whatever setup you're using, right, that process is set in stone, it's documented, and that it is then communicated to those who are going to be using it, and that they are trained not only on the process, but also how to use said tool. Next, you want to establish security protocols. Who has access, right? Who is going to be invited? Is there a certain level of access that they have? Who doesn't get invited, right? What is the protocol for when someone quits and need to be removed, right? Just making sure that your fiscal manual, your fiscal policies and procedures indicates what your security protocols are going to be. How often are you backing up? How often are you reviewing? Things of that nature. And then lastly, you monitor performance and compliance, right? Are people using it like they're supposed to? Do you go in and when you run a P&L by class, you see non-specified, which indicates that nothing has been classed? Thinking about those things, right? Having a certain cadence that you go in and monitor performance or compliance, because some things might indicate, oh, we need to go back to the training step because you're not using this properly. Or it might be like, we've been using this for a while. I know a better way to do something. Let's work on that. So none of these things are set it and forget it, right? You do the data migration, maybe you love the software, but you have to make sure that you stay up to date on how it works and how you're using it, because things change. These software providers, they get in here, they do things differently, they fix things, right? And so you want to keep a pulse on that. And that's why it's good to have like a software champion who kind of stays close to those types of things. So yeah, so that's really it, right? It's not crazy. And it's not a bunch of steps, it's just that the steps are very involved. And so a lot of times if you are not well versed in said thing, you might want to have someone that will assist you in the whole making the transition over to cloud accounting software. If you have any questions, let me know. If there are any other videos that you guys want, please drop them below. Also, May 22nd, we are hosting our very first ever virtual event. It's a virtual conference. It is called Accounting for Good. We have 4 sessions. We're going to be talking AI. We're going to be talking QuickBooks Online. We're going to be talking about grant readiness, 990s, and we're going to have a panel. If you are a nonprofit executive director or someone that works in nonprofit leadership, you should be there, because it really is about helping to improve the nonprofit fiscal function, helping you manage your finances better. There will be a portion where we're doing Q&A. You can ask questions and things of that nature. The link will be down below. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video.